move on to our map bans for this matchup. We'll start off with our first 4 and then our first pick. That'll be for Border, where Beast Coast have taken us to Talon on the attacking side, Alfama.
Yeah, they're peeking into the unknown. PSG Talon hasn't showed Border yet. I think that's a good thing actually on PSG Talon's side. And I would say it's, yes, a great map for Beast Coast, but you know, I would be kind of worried picking into the unknown for an elimination match, Jack.
Yeah, I hope your cousin's done his work, Milos, because I have Border as PSG Talon's #1 map preference at this event. They've not banned it yet. If we move through to the next map, we will see that PSG Talon, they pick into Skyscraper. Now, we've seen Beast Coast play Skyscraper at this event, and I think that's why we were thinking PSG Talon might want to pick into it.
Yeah, but at the same time, so they've lost it at this event.
Yes.
But they went 7-8 versus FaZe, one of the best team at the major.
Favorite.
And arguably, Beast Coast should have won that. They really should. And then if you move on to the decider, one of the only maps that we've seen PSG Talon play on, I feel like every time we see PSG Talon play, there is an Oregon. If they go to the decider, one of the maps where they are the most comfortable, they actually beat BDS on it. But Beast Coast, one of their best maps as well. So it works for both teams.
All right, so would you say that we have a, on paper, close game between the two?
I think it might be the closest game of today, but to be honest, that's not really saying a lot.
Yeah, true.
I have a gut feeling PSG Talon would need to get this done in 2. I think if we go to a 3rd map, Beast Coast will take it.
I actually think this might be one-sided. I have a lot of trust in Beast Coast. I think they've shown a lot of good things, and even in their defeats, it was really close against big teams. This is a totally different opponent, maybe a bit weaker, so I expect them to make it to main stage.
Alfama can flip the bias to any region that is needed because, you know what, he's played in pretty much all of them, right?
You know what, it's called being objective on the desk.
True. Very, very fair. Alfama Fresh, thank you so much. Our casters await. Dev Marta and Lynx, all yours.
Thank you very much, Milos and the guys on the desk. As we have set this up, it is the final chance to crown a team for the main stage. It's going to be another one from North America or the first one from APAC, because Korea, look, they've had some upsets. We've already seen PSG Talon beat BDS. We've already seen Fearex knock G2 out, but this is where it gets serious for Talon.
Where it gets really serious, the system versus the fraggers, but 2 upstarts nonetheless from their respective regions with a lot on the line to prove here. Talon at least have 1 major to their name, even if it was 6 months ago. This is still Beast Coast first, and they are looking to make the most of it on Border. Beast Coast pick barely really played it, just a couple times in the NAL, and pre-revamp of the roster in week 3, dominant loss to OXG. Post-revamp, dominant win against Dark Zero later on in the season, but as Jack mentioned, Talon have been saving this one. They were, I believe, eager to go to this map and to see Beast Coast pick it. As we start out for our bans, the attacking is interesting, Dev, Dokkaebi, Montaigne, but as the desk pointed out, we don't really need to guess what these defensive bans will be.
Yeah. This is a big moment for Talon, absolutely. Seeing their first chance at making it to the main stage when this is only their 2nd ever major, their first since their roster revamp, since bringing on Fabian to their coaching staff. The Fenrir and the Solace, as you had alluded to, and as we had that beautiful graphic from Leo and the boys on the desk, this is staple. This is certainly going to leave Mira in, it's going to leave Valkyrie in. A lot of power operators still to experiment with, but nothing too crazy as of yet. Now, one operator we talked a lot about in our match earlier today with BDS and Blizz is Ying. And Ying has slipped on through. Ying, Glaz, Osa, a lot of options that you can do on Border with those very execute-heavy attackers.
So many options you can do on any map, really. There's a reason that Grim in particular has become a very commonly played operator inside of recent history. You can flood so many tight corridors with those bees, and compounded with the Candela as well, it makes for a particularly unfun time, especially on a map as close quarters and tight-knit as Border can be. See if Beast Coast decide to bring them out on their attacking side, or Talon decide to bring them out here. Our first site is Armory and Archives. Talon, at least not right now, not flexing any of those operators, but the one I want to highlight is that Deimos. There are so many soft floors on Border, especially in CCTV. Azami will likely be playing there, but if Soldier can get into position inside of Customs, use that Deathmark tracker to spot her out, be a good way for Talon to get the opening pick on this attacking side.
Attack's where they begin on Beast Coast map pick, as you said. Now, Attack does have a bit of merit on Border. We actually don't have any information on how PSG Talon play Border. They haven't played it ever since their inception as PSG Talon rather than Talon Esports. As for Beast Ghost, you've said it in the past, like they have played this map twice, won at once, lost at once. Exactly a 50-50 win rate for rounds and a 50-50 on both attack and defense.
Hello.
But we're going to have a rush already. Misa going straight in with the blitz. Royboy covering. A good C4 over the top from Hot and Cold. And as he is the Warden, he's a perfect operator to try and suppress his position. But there is no plant denial. And somehow Talon have gotten away with that diffuser going down.
I really like that C4 from Hot and Cold onto the balcony, but Soldier holding down below, that's really the only option they have. Cuts down Gavini on the retake, 4v4. I mean, this is a winnable round for Talon that should go their way.
Very winnable for Talon. Beast Coast have a solid chance at making this retake work. Good bait there. Diffuser does get a good refrag, but Misa is in power positions here. Up to Spirits now in a 1v3. Still got to deal with that blitz. Does get a little bit of damage down onto Misa, but not enough as of yet, as Misa is looking to get a little bit saucy with it, going straight on forwards. The blitz eventually will finish it off. Great opening round from Talon, and they're looking very hyped.
Very good round indeed. Let's talk about what Fabian just said. Look what we can do, because when Talon are at their best, it's with rounds like that. They are really good at those set plays. Might be a bit of a new team, might still struggle to figure things out on the fly when they need to react, but we can't deny the fact, especially, for example, in that game against BDS or earlier games in the tournament, that when they are executing a pre-planned strat, be it a rush, be it a clear, they know the strengths, they know the weaknesses, and they can execute it surprisingly well for a team that, as you pointed out, is still relatively new to the international scene under Fabian's system.
If anything, I'm a little bit surprised that Beast Coast weren't able to deny that plant, because I thought they had a fantastic start. The Glaz is the main operator that's meant to be covering the blitz there. And after he was C4'd by Hot and Cold, there was no information from Beast Coast that that plant was still, in fact, going down. And it's a bit surprising to me. You see the smokes go out, you probably expect that that's when the plant's going to go down. And Beast Coast didn't capitalize on that. And in a post plant, even in a 5v4, it's nigh impossible, especially when there is a shield on the board.
Especially with Soldier holding down below, as Deimos making sure that not only does he have intel on anybody that could be pushing him or could be on site, but also just has that vendetta ready for anybody to go for the retake. And let's talk about Misa as well on that blitz. I believe either, a two-piece for him in that round. Unequivocally, I think, the best player on Talon so far this turn.
So good this event.
I mean, how many times, in how many games, has he single-handedly brought rounds over the line with 3Ks, 4Ks, dropping 17 kills, 20 kills? It's been a ridiculous showing from Misa this tournament, and I think putting him on that blitz, a lot of the times, we'll see somebody pick the operator, like Hot and Cold, just meant to create space. We're not expecting Hot and Cold to pop off on the blitz. He's meant to create space and do his job. But Misa on that operator, not only can he do that first part, but he can get kills if he needs to in that second part because of how well he's been performing this tournament. Soldier as well, another really standout player for Talon. So this team, with that good strategic foundation, also has some excellent individual skill to execute it.
Attackers are moving to defuse.
Funnily enough, we actually will see the blitz picked again here, as well as the Glaz. So clearly some kind of pocket strat once again is being planned out here by Talon. Archives Rush is one of the most classic rushes in Siege. I know in Ranked you see it all the time, in Comp as well. And often it involves some form of a shield, and often it involves that Glaz. Very rarely do teams get away with doing it twice, but there is a little bit of spice cooked up here with the Amaru.
At JLT, just going to send it in through sandwich window. I'm curious where the blitz is going to come from. You'd assume not from the Archive side. Maybe the rush up metal stairs could be the game plan for PSG Talon. They're still getting set up. They've got Royboy back in position. That Glaz on the ventilation window, but no, it's all the way through the armory breach.
Here it goes, JLT straight up through. They don't seem to be aware of it. Spirits does find one, traded back, but not confirmed as of yet. Soldier goes in. Oh, big from Soldier. He's taking the space, but he loses his head. Royboy trapped here on the AC balcony. Not fighting anything with the Glaz. Teases out his position, tempted to make a rotate. Ryder is caught completely out as well, and Beast Coast have maintained control of CCTV here with Gavin. And that makes things very awkward for the Koreans.
Also playing on this doorway to see if anybody goes on that rappel. Obviously, drone coming around the corner will spot him, so Gavini will retreat as a natural consequence. Bit of a difficult round to recover, given the presence of Diffuser now trapped inside of the B-bomb site, or the half wall where it fell. Royboy just trying to probe for a pick, but he's relying on Beast Coast to get over aggressive to make a mistake. At least Ryder, I believe, might be able to actually make it back into the site through the breach. I think the big concern is just that CCTV position, so he'll go back to sandwich window instead, but this rappel is going to be really loud. It's going to give a big sound cue with the flashbang.
Thing is, there's no information here, seemingly for Beast Coast. I suppose it doesn't matter because Hot and Cold is such a strong position. inside of Archives. I thought that perhaps they fell back a little bit too much, did Beast Coast, but now that they've retaken Armory as well, Roy Boy is a dead man walking. There's not a lot of options for him. He's going to telegraph his position by trying to take down this Keeper barrier. Running on straight through, wow, castle barricades, Keeper barriers, locked up doorways. Not a lot of options for him at all. He's navigating this maze of the map, and now he's walked straight into a camera and another Keeper barricade, a late reinforcement. Beast Coast should be able to lock this out quite handily. They give him nothing.
Diffuser's got 3 more of those in pockets, just to be absolutely certain. If Robo breaks one out, he'd be like, nope! Stay out of the sight, please. You know you've lost this round. Yeah. You can run with Barry 9 all you want. Diffuser just actually making my life annoying. That AA-12 is so annoying.
It's very loud.
It's very, very loud.
Does Roboy find one? Come on, get the first one.
I think he gets this one.
He's walking to a 3-way crossfire, and good lockout from Beast Coast. There was a little bit of merit for a moment in that rush, but Beast Coast quite ready for it.
Now, I appreciate the new look from Talon, and definitely with Soldier recovering on that rush in. The other player I highlighted alongside me said those two definitely, I mean, there is some depth to this Talon roster, but those two definitely at the tippy top in terms of form. But overall, credit to Beast Coast for being aware of the potential for a rush. Of course, as you saw the setup later on, Beast Coast like to go for that extension into break room with the castle barricade, also allowing to play inside of the 90 hallway. But with that long angle from Archives, hot and cold, obviously reacting well in time, and can react well in time to that rush. So good awareness from Beast Coast, able to win out the Armory Archives site. Talon, hopefully we don't just have set plays for the entirety of this half.
Yeah, I expect we'll see a little bit of diversity now. And the Glaz and the Blitz are not teased out yet. As of yet, obviously still some time to change things around. Hot and cold. 4K that round. 5 kills so far in the 2 rounds we've seen. He was on fire. Really good, stable player, right? Like, he's been an insane fragger. I remember, what was it? It was 2020 in the NAL.
2021 Mirage, I got you.
2021, where he was like the best player in North America. Right, it was right after he got dropped from DZ.
No, DZ, yeah.
DZ, if I recall correctly. That was before he went over to SSG. And yet, he's not really kind of touted as like a core fragger for this roster. He's the leadership figure, and yet he still can hold on and come up big when he's needed.
I remember I talked to Hot and Cold at the beginning of the stage after Beast Coast kind of started coming back, like, hey, you know, what's the kind of the system with this roster? What are you building here? Are you that leadership figure? And he said, yeah, I've taken up calling, and, quote, calling's a whole lot better than lurking. And Hot and Cold, I think, taking this, and he was, when he got that big scoreline on Mirage, he was the lurker in the NAL. And Hot and Cold is taking this kind of career change onto Beast Coast with this new project as a breath of fresh air. And not as, you know, potentially wasted potential. And when you have Gunnar and Gavini on a roster, Spirits, as Leo mentioned, a very underrated aspect of Xset and M80 for a brief time, you don't need to get all the kills. But if Hot and Cold's heating up and then we see good performances from Gunnar, Gavini, and maybe even Spirits later on, that's where things get worrying from Talon. But Gunnar, unfortunately, one of his very famous 5v5 openings.
You said they call it doing a Gunnar, don't they? Somehow he has this magical ability to just die early quite often, but you got to credit Talon here. They have systematically picked apart this East Stairs hold. What a shot there from Roy Boy, making full use of that new addition to Ace with that 2.5 times magnified scope. Looking for something though is Gavin here. He does get droned out. He might get pre-fired as well. He's survived for just a little bit longer, but he's left all alone. PSG Talon firing back with quite a vengeance. 1 kill for Gav.
He can stem.
He can heal back up again. Really, Talon just needs to be careful not to overcommit here to re-peeking him. We've seen a single 1v5 in the tournament so far, and something tells me this ain't gonna be another one. Good lockout for Talon, and they've taken the lead once again.
And I think let's give credit to Talon there, because I said I don't want to see any more set plays, and what do we have? They look at the defense in front of them, see the Azami on East Stairs, Gunnar supporting her. They get Gunnar first, and then they pinch the Azami really well. The players on front of East, you know, over towards kind of the balcony spawn, distracting him, drawing Diffuser's focus, throwing utility at him. Roy Boy, I believe, from behind with the backstab to pinch him. Really good coordinated clear right there from PSG Talon, taking out the extremities of that setup. And then on top of that, you've got that long angle through the wall to make it a 5v2. Just overall very solid round from Talon after moving away and pivoting from those kind of rushes.
We do love a good pivot here.
We do, yes we do.
And really, for Talon, it's just about keeping it simple, right? You identify one thing that you want to clear east stairs. Once you've done that, once you've got a man advantage, just play it simple.
Especially when it's border. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate things on this map.
Don't have a set strat, you know, we have to take control of this part of that. No, it's like,
no,
5v2,
exactly.
just convert.
The most complex you should be getting are the stuff Talon did at the beginning, which is like, all right, we'll have a rush for this side, here's the rush for this side. But after that, feel it out. See if you can clear CCTV. See if you can get a kill over by east stairs. It's a map that really does reward going with the flow, which I think, given that this is Beast Coast pick, makes sense. They want to channel those fraggers, but given Talon so far having, at first, just some solid plays, but now showing a good understanding of how to identify those opportunities on the attack, a workable half here, certainly on their opponent's pick.
Well, let's talk about border for a moment, Carter, because this is one of the smallest maps, if not the smallest map in the competitive scene at the moment, and that means that the attack has the ability to rotate, to move around, say, okay, we're pulling out of this kind of attack, and we're going to go for this one. It comes so much down to those mid-round adaptations, to the decisions that the leadership team are making, and often it also comes down to having some real firepower on your squad. Now, Beast Coast, we've touted them, they've got that. They've got plenty of firepower. They also have experience. Player like Hot and Cold, one of the most experienced in the tournament. PSG Talon, on the other hand, like, these guys are not household names, let alone on the world stage, but even in Korea to some degree.
Yeah, I can say with full confidence going into this, I was like, I'm familiar with Soldier's game.
Yeah.
West, not as much. I'm familiar with Diffuser's game inside of the NA scene, this being his first stage of pro play. I'm familiar with his time in Tier 2. And with the entrance, he hasn't had a standout performance, but Gunnar and Gavin have been stealing the spotlight quite a bit. Long angle with the AA-12 all the way to challenge break, doorway, Diffuser. Simultaneously combining aggressiveness and passivity. He wants to challenge these long angles, but he's not on east stairs like he was before. He's much further back and can retreat into the confines of Fountain and Armory Archives more broadly, with Gunnar supporting him.
Shots teased by Gunnar, but he doesn't want to overstay his welcome.
Look at Misa's positioning.
Yeah, there's a lot still to play here. Beast Coast continuing to fall back into safer and safer positions and play off each other well. But PSG are very much in the measure twice, cut once camp at the moment. They haven't made any substantial moves. They've gained a lot of information, and because Beast Coast are falling back and seceding ground, PSG have been able to take some. But it does feel quite slow. The bomb site is down in Vent's workshop. PSG still need to work on clearing this top floor.
Misa's patience is ridiculous, but now it will almost certainly pay off. But Gunnar with this shield is not giving it up lightly. Spots one. Roy Boy now down.
Where's the trade?
He says,
had that.
Lets him slip by. Spirit's there too, even to support Gunnar from behind. This Deathmark tracker, where's the capitalization off this intel? He's revealed his position with that shotgun in the wall.
What is going on here for Talon? We were just praising them after what was a nice flawless round gone by. Now Spirits has been allowed to remain uncontested. Beautiful shot from Misa. That's what we expect. It could have come a little bit earlier, but it will be welcome nonetheless. 3v4.
There's just not enough time for this verticality, though, and also with Beast Coast holding on to control of customs and passport, they have an exact crossfire either on the walk down metal or the drop down the hatch.
Yeah, this is almost a done deal for Beast Coast. Time is of the essence, and Talon need to make good on the little information that they have. Hot and Cold round in the corner will find Ryder, diffuse it down on the ground. A good lockout now from Beast Coast, as there's just about nothing that PSG Talon can do. JLT throws himself ineffectually at the bomb site, and is met with ultimate force from Beast Coast. A tie game once again.
They're unfortunately a much weaker showing from Talon on that clear. I think Beast Coast making it a little easy for them in round 3. Hey, we've got an Azami right here, in your face. And Talon say, okay, well, we obviously have to deal with that if we want East Stairs control. And they execute it very well. After that, Beast Coast say, okay, we weren't familiar with your game. Apologies, good sirs. We're going to play a little more passive now. We're going to hang out in Fountain. We're going to hang out in Armory. And we're just going to restrict ourselves to that part of the map, except Diffuser will play aggressive early on, but then fall back very quickly. And that really stumped Talon. I mean, how long was Misa in that spot with Gunnar rotating around, moving from in front of the shield, behind the shield, to in front again, even a Deathmark tracker on him, and was never able to get the kill or even get the trade after that. Talon really stalling themselves out that round.
Still an even game, though. Talon have shown a real level of competition in this match that we didn't see from the 2 games earlier today, right? Bliss versus BDS, we obviously knew that was still going to be a David and Goliath match, but BDS have been shaky, almost lost to CAG, and Bliss have been in good form. So we expected that would be competitive. It wasn't. It was a very swift 2-0. And the same can somewhat be said for the Bleed Liquid game as well. We thought that Bleed might have a solid shot. Liquid fired up again. And Talon I think the most convincing of the underdog teams that we've seen play today. All 4 of these rounds have been within the realm of possibility.
And it needs to be competitive. I agree with Jack's prediction that if Talon are going to win this series, I think it has to be a 2-0. I think they cannot let Border slip away. Obviously, Talon very comfortable on Oregon, and it does lower the skill ceiling, but getting that early victor in your opponent's pick, and then moving on to Skyscraper, a map that Beast Coast did show some footage on against FaZe, quite a decent length of footage, going to 15 rounds. I think that might be the play. Lucy drone hacked, but with full intel on Gunner's position. Again, Beast Coast on Armory Archives going for this break room hold. Gunner being the player to actually hold break room itself, but importantly, as we can see, Diffuser playing passive once again.
And that mute jammer is going to make things very difficult now for the Flores drone to go in. Wants to clear that castle barricade. Oh, what a shot from Misa! PSG Talon. Criticize them as much as you want, say what you will about the Korea region, but these guys are very sharp. In particular, Misa, he always finds his angle.
Indeed he does. Now Gavini in a bit of a tricky spot. He feels the need to start, you know, at least opening up his options for the retreat out, but with control of that break room door, Talon could potentially cut him off. He'll hold for a little bit longer. And this is where Talon can't squander that advantage. They squandered intel on Gunner in the previous round. Now they've got the 5v4. We see the secondary utility going out. Flash indeed.
They're being so patient, Talon, and it's making Gavin second guess everything he knows. A good long angle all the way from East Stairs. What a shot from Roy Boy. PSG Talon like to take their time, but they managed to convert it. When Beast Coast exposed themselves, the Koreans do not miss an opportunity to gain that advantage and convert it. 5v2 now, as Mies has found hot and cold. Spirits, an opportunity goes begging for him. A minute to play, and Diffuser is looking all kinds of discomfort. He is taken down. Spirits in a 1v5. This game is more than competitive. Border should have been an open and shut case for Beast Coast, but Talon, they've hidden it for quite some time, and perhaps there's a chance that they will be a serious threat here against Beast Coast. Spirits caught in the worst position possible. Once again, the lead for Talon. Where has this Fabian been for 7 years?
No, okay.
This is a new breed of Fabian.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. I'm gonna disagree with you just a little bit. Because it hasn't just been are you talking about today or more broadly?
I mean, like, since joining Talon, this guy has become like a teddy bear.
Yes, okay, then I'm not going to disagree with you. Yes, I agree.
He was infamous for being like the most ruthless player at IGL coach.
And don't get me wrong, I've seen some ruthlessness from Fabian this tournament and some of those Talon losses, but I also agree with you. Fabian has been very effusive with his praise when players have been doing well on this Talon roster, and what better time when Misa is just continuing to have an outstanding performance so far through this tournament, and Talon getting the opening pick right there, able to shut down Gunner. They then pinch out Gavini thereafter, really bouncing back quite nicely from round 5 when they struggled to find that opening. At least here, they get the pick. They know how to use that remaining 2 minutes. Getting there might be a bit of a problem, though. We'll see if sticking in that 5v5 continues to be an issue.
But just to speak to Fabian's encouragement of these players, as someone who's come from the APAC region and been watching the APAC teams for the longest time, I think everyone in APAC can relate to the way that we look at APAC teams, the way that APAC teams come to these events, that we always perceive ourselves as the underdog. Every team does, and there's something that is a barrier between APAC teams and winning that is more than just skill, and it's mindset. It's because to some teams, you have to internalize the idea that you actually can win, that you actually do belong here. There's an imposter syndrome with every APAC team, and Fabian is doing everything he can to gas up these Talon players and make them to believe that they deserve to be here.
And Talon this tournament, I mean, there have been times in the past where, you know, an Asia-Pacific team has gone far, and of course you see the people on Twitter say, oh, well, look at this bracket draw, look at the teams they had to face, but...
These guys beat BDS,
well,
for God's
that's what I
sake.
was going to say. Talon had to beat BDS in a very close game, and sure, it was best of 1, but they were up 6-3 at one point, a very good showing on Oregon. Then they had to play FaZe, who I still predict, if they're in the right form, could win the whole tournament. We'll see if this best of 3 ends up proving favorable. Back to Teller's bathroom now. East Coast roaming upstairs again. For them, I want to see them play passive. Force a 5v5 for as long as you can in this round. Make Talon work for that opening pick, because at this point, when they acquire it, or when they get a substantial amount of control in a short period of time, they know what to do with it. They know how to play the hand they're dealt.
Very much the case. Oh, Diffuser does give his life away. There is, thankfully for Gunner, something of a reply. Soldier's getting very aggressive, though, and looking for a reply onto Spirits, but going up against this shotgun, especially with the extra cover from this cabinet here, is going to make it a nigh impossible task. Good grenade. Spirits! He falls to it on the attempted retreat. Thankfully, Beast Coast do get away with another kill, and it's Misa, the big hitter, to go down. Still some presence on this top floor, and Gunner, he has been revealed and caught out by Ryder. Gavin, not able to find anything. Triple kill for Ryder in the round. Hot and Cold's getting very aggressive, and he's put in the dirt. Talon are up 4-2 against the best team from North America on their own map pick.
And they looked good in those rounds that they won. Sure, maybe Beast Coast gives an engagement early on. Maybe you say, oh, play more passive, don't give your life away. But when they have that 5v4, they're converting it. Almost every single time they get that opening pick, no, every single time they get that opening pick, they convert it. And then in one round, that rush in round one, they still brought it back after Hot and Cold C4'd the glass on the balcony. Talon know what their win condition is, and when they are getting that 5v4, they were able to convert it on that attacking side. Really nice stuff from Talon on that attack, and they're a better defensive team this tournament. I mean, sub 50% on both sides, but still the better side by a whole 8 to 9%.
Look at the way he gasses them up. The Talon going to be feeling a kind of elation that they have never felt playing Rainbow Six Siege before. And I know it's early days, but this has been a competitive game. And Talon, in a way, have no right to have a competitive game with the #1 seed out of North America. And yes, Beast Coast, big asterisk behind calling them the best in NA. They might have won the league, but they're a 2-month-old team.
Exactly.
That has, yes, a lot of talent, but also some clear issues, and this is early days for them, whereas PSG only have, well, they've had 2 months with Fabian, I suppose, and in a way you could say they've been revamped as a team since then, but 4 of these players have been playing for quite some time together. They obviously went to Atlanta, didn't have a great performance at that major, but they're back with a real vengeance now. Beast Coast, I'm going to lean on you for a bit of insight into them at the moment, Carter, but I want to know, like, what does going down on their map pick do to them? Is this a team that's got the mental fortitude to bounce back when the goings get tough?
I think of any team in North America outside of the big mainstays like Dark Zero, SSG, this should be the team that can resist that, you know, that mental slide, because everyone on this team, aside from Diffuser, has been on a really good NA team. Gunner was on the Sonics. One of the most successful international rosters that North America's ever produced. Gavini's on DZ, one of the most structured and disciplined teams in North America. Hot and Cold's one of the veterans of the scene, and sure, Spirits might have been on kind of X set, but they were also consistently performing very well internationally. They can resist that mental, and look at how they're bouncing back right now. Hot and Cold, he might enjoy calling, but this man is back on lurking. Watch him walk up east stairs, take that 1v1, and completely decimate Misa on the east side.
A big player to take down, as we've said, not just that it is Misa, the star fragger of Talon, but also, well, he's going to double down, and he's taking a lot of utility with it. Misa's keeper barriers ineffectual. The east stairs hold taken apart very easily. Beast Coast have a lot of map control. They've got a 2-player advantage. Attack has proved to be the name of the game here on Border. Really, it's just on Beast Coast to convert this round.
It is JLT, I think, making the best decision in the long run, facing a lot of pressure on that west side. No 1v1 presenting itself, so he's got to fall back. Is a defense in ventilation, I do believe, downstairs on the first floor. So Roy Boy now the last vestige of this roam upstairs. Yes, as you can see, only 3 drones left for Beast Coast, though. So if Roy Boy stays a little longer, takes down 1 more drone, even I would say. There we go. Spirit shot all the way up at the top left of your screen. Now he can fall back. But they're still in a 3v5. Something needs to give, and Gunner drops. This is a gunfight. That Valkyrie needs to win, and she does.
What a shot there from Soldier around the corner, and get that angle. He does get traded immediately. Beast Coast should still be able to convert the 4v2. They have info on JLT, and Roy Boy's been dismantled handily. JLT 1v3, he finds nothing. Much needed energy for Beast Coast. We know how elated Fettuccini can get coaching from behind, and this team needs it now more than ever.
Especially when 2 of the players that the desk highlighted as big individual performers, Gunner and Gavini, having a bit of a quiet day so far. I think only because, in their previous matchups. Even in the FaZe game they lost, they were leading the way. Not pulling Beast Coast over the line like they were losing, but in some cases bailing them out of rounds that were looking really grim or looking really thin, their chances at winning it. But hot and cold that time. He sees a gap on E stairs, takes the 1v1, gets a second in that round. Really good individual performance from him there, showing that the gun skill in Beast Coast is in fact deep. Hot and cold still got some of that 2021 Mirage performance in him. When overall, Beast Coast clear was, I guess, kind of on the east side as a consequence of Hot and Cold's kill, but I think they were looking for someone to go big that round.
If they can keep up that momentum on their attacking side, maybe it's not as much cause for concern as we thought it was originally, because I admit was pretty worried about how that first half went for Beast Coast. I mean, this is a map where they, in theory, should be favored. Like we've said, PSG Talon have not played this map since Fabian started coaching the team. All year long, they have not played Border, and it's been one of their most banned maps as well. So Beast Coast really should be favored in this game. It is their map pick after all. Moving on to Skyscraper next, PSG were able to pick their favorite map. I don't know how Beast Coast would fare on that. They need to win here, and they could, well, call this another 2-0. We've had two 2-0s against APAC teams today, and PSG have looked the best of any of them thus far.
Certainly been the most competitive game, at least as the first map has indicated to us. Do want to see how Beast Coast continue with these attacks, because they are the most plant-focused team of the whole tournament. 50% of their attacking rounds, they plant the diffuser, and I believe it was 55% up until the game yesterday. Very quite high. Soldier cutting down diffuser. Talk about somebody who's had a bit of a rough tournament so far. Diffuser definitely lagging a little bit behind the rest of the team, especially with Hot and Cold now right above him. Putting up some really decent numbers, just walks in front of the break door, ends up losing his life, and now Beast Coast clear. What do you really have? Well, not much, especially if Misa gets this kill that he has intel on.
Tons of yellow pings coming out. I just assume from the Valkyrie cameras of Soldier. Talked about the operator bans. Fenrir and Solus might be done, but this Valkyrie is going to give so much to Talon. They know exactly which angles to hold and at which moments to try and get those kills. The Valk himself does actually get spotted by the Deimos, and then it gets, I believe, muted out. No, somehow it deactivated. Perhaps he deactivated it, looking for a different player. Hot and Cold doesn't need the ability, as he's got the AK and he takes out Ryder. No more regenerating goo mines for this round, and perhaps an opening for Beast Coast, especially with Gavini threading the needle onto Soldier.
Those are the kinds of gunfights that I think are going to define this round, those long angles, because Beast Coast might have the East, but Talon, the men of the West, still holding on strong inside of CCTV on those long angle engagements, but Gavini wins one, and now Talon do need to fall back a little bit. They've got to see that control, respect Beast Coast's presence a bit, and likely make use of Roy Boy's toxic canisters to deny the plant that seems aimed for that Archives door. Gunner outside on the balcony right now. JLT got the cross to hold out Fountain, but somebody's lurking in to take it away from him.
JLT doesn't know how deep they are. They've got the Deimos down below, looking to put some vertical pressure on. The nade might flush him out. Gavini's going to go for the pig on the back of it as well. Good pre-fire, great teamwork. A bit of an attempt at a refrag, but not quite enough from Misa. We need to see more from him. We want to see everything from him. 1v4. Beast Coast on the verge of tying up the scoreline. Misa's been good. Nice shot. Is the plant able to go down? Misa not able to duel. Gavin on the long angle. Making a very good case for why he should not have been dropped. Very solid round from Beast Coast to bring us back to an even round count.
Those are the rounds that I'm talking about when I say they get bailed out by somebody getting a 3K, moving on forward. And I was curious when this tactical timeout would fall, because the first round you have lost, you say, okay, big hot and cold 3K, whatever. But then you have this round, big Gavini 3K, okay. Some coaches might say whatever and move on. Let Beast Coast potentially take the lead before they call it, but Fabian very proactive here.
Same case for Fett as well. Really nailing down exactly how they want to play these attacks. It's always interesting to me the nature of how this works, with Roy Bear being the one with the best English on this team. But Fabian has said in the past that he essentially just explains everything he wants them to do, and often it is quite strategic. It's not just, hey guys, we've got to reset. No, it's often like, you need to play here, you need to do this strategy, you need to exploit this. And then Roy Boy essentially has to translate that to the rest of the team. Quite a bit of a handicap for the Korean team trying to get their commands, if you will, in English, and then translate that into Korean and whatever is lost in translation, they're like, you can't have as complicated ideas transmitted, right, by Fabian.
Which, to be fair, I mean, the deep run already says it enough, but if they make main stage, Fabian having to basically communicate his ideas enough to cross language barriers, be very, very impressive. They're able to do that. We did hear a little bit of a snippet of the call from Beast Coast. I believe I heard the call made by Fett to try and go for a bit of more of a minimal plant, which we've seen Beast Coast execute quite successfully on their attacking sides in the past. As I mentioned, they're very plant-focused, so if they can properly identify the map control they need and not go for anything more, but secure what they need in very good time, round could go their way. Could take the lead away from Talon. But it's also important, as that was Talon's tactical timeout. We'll see how they're able to react to it. And I think seeing this castle barricade, maybe they anticipated it, but either way, an extension could be a very solid way to deny Beast Coast control they need.
We saw that from Beast Coast. A lot of castle, a lot of Azami, that combo that completely changed the architecture of the map. You make a rotate here, you block up this doorway there, a Kiba barrier to play off of. Makes it very difficult for the attack to navigate the map because they don't even know what the map looks like. Not to mention there's actually 3 C4s on this lineup as well. And the Valkyrie cameras for some information. Now the bomb site is downstairs. Likely that means Beast Coast will be entering the top floor to go for a top-down push. If that is the case, these C4s could be very deadly on the vertical game.
They certainly could. I also think Intel has been one of Talon's biggest strengths this series. Didn't really talk about it a lot, but saw, or at least I noticed, quite a lot of Z-ping usage in accurate positions on the attacking side. We obviously saw it on the defense as well, even though Talon have yet to actually pull away with the defensive round. They've had a lot of intel on players pushing from east, players pushing into Fountain. So it has been useful, even if it's not been realized. Beast Coast setting up on the east side. Yep, you can see Hot and Cold pushing in down below, but that vertical angle's too tight. You're not going to be able to see him.
They missed him. Oh, wow, this is desperate. Look at that. Very aggressive. In for Beast Coast all at once. 3, 2, 1, go. They lose more than they gain. Perhaps bit off a bit more than they could chew. Nice aggression here. Spirits put under the pump. Big kill for Misa. Gunner desperate now, looking for a reply. The wallbang doesn't quite land. He's so low on HP. And he's left all alone. 1v4. This could have been the first chance for Beast Coast to take the lead in this game. But it's looking very unlikely now. A calculated risk, but a risk that has not paid dividends for Beast Coast. Only halfway into the round, they got aggressive, and Talon were more than ready for it. Just 2 rounds from stealing Beast Coast's map pick.
And the timeout works. That call was beautiful. They absolutely anticipated what Beast Coast were going to do. 2 rounds where Beast Coast did not really get that diffuser down. They won the round off kills and on the clear. And then Talon, they bring that castle. And when it's Teller's bathroom and you're going for a minimal plant, you're starting on the east side. They anticipate it, and we see the response from Beast Coast with their own tactical timeout, realizing that that plant win condition might not be as easily achievable as they've been able to get before.
It's crazy because, like, yeah, PSG took their attack timeout last round, and Fett had a chance to talk to the team, and now 1 round has gone by, and he's ready to chat to them again.
It's good proactivity. I mean, you don't want to let it fester. We saw kind of the 2 double match point timeouts from Bliss when those maps ended up basically being gone.
Yeah, you don't want to take, there's no point in taking a tactical timeout too late. The game was done at that point in the Bliss versus BDS match. Fettuccini doesn't want to let this slip to a map point. He knows how important this map is. The desk said that they think Talon needs to win this 2-0. Like, if this goes to Oregon, then it's definitely going to be Beast Coast's map. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that the big question for me comes in mental fortitude. It comes in the fact that this could end up being a marathon, not a sprint. And for Beast Coast, they can't afford to lose their confidence on that first map. I think they really need to push hard here. If it's map point, I think that they'll be in very grim position.
It will certainly be worrisome, especially going to Skyscraper. I mean, 2, I would say, kind of big ego picks from both teams. Beast Coast picking Border when, obviously, as you know, in the main South Korea stage, Talon banned Border quite a bit, but then at this event, hadn't banned it at all. I think maybe one singular time late in the ban phase. It was pretty clear that Talon, especially under as renowned a coach as Fabian, they probably played Border. They have absolutely probably practiced it and have one hiding up their sleeves. Beast Coast still pick it, and then Talon pick Skyscraper, the map that Beast Coast almost 7-3'd FaZe on, and probably could have closed out at 8-7 too had they not choked that post-plant 3v3. That's still the only footage we have, a very strong Beast Coast performance, and yet Talon have picked it too.
Yeah. It's been an exciting fixture for sure. Like I'm so glad that we got to cast this game. It's my first time casting PSG Talon since Fabian took over. It's also my second time casting beastcoast. We saw them absolutely mince ITB just the other day. And what a treat it is. These are surprisingly well-matched teams, right? The best team out of NA and the best team out of what, Korea? Yeah, apparently that is a decent matchup.
Yeah, somehow. It's also, that's the last thing I'll say, then I'll start talking about the setup, but it was a little over a year ago that in the final day of the Swiss stage, an NA team was upset by an Asia-Pacific team, Japanese, that time in Copenhagen, for a very rare main stage performance.
versus Scars, and Scars have sadly not really achieved much since then.
Sadly not, but maybe Talon will turn that bad luck into good luck.
Okay.
Or at least Misa. Tarot card's not looking good for him. Spirits with the opening pick, cutting down that Azami early on, but only 3 drones remaining for Beast Coast. They might have that 5v4, but if they want to get this diffuser down, they're going to be lacked for intel in the mid-round, let alone for the late.
Misa's had a lot of early opening picks, which is strange because he's also top fragging the roster. Sometimes a bit of a go hard or go home kind of player. Good map control taken from Beast Coast. They've flushed out all this CCTV break. They've started to put some real pressure onto the top floor above the bomb site. And I do wonder what, after their tactical timeout, the mentality is, are they still going to be looking for that minimalist plant that you said Fettuccini was talking about before?
That's what I'm curious about, because I think Gunnar might have a feeling there's a gap here. We can obviously see that there are vertical holes in the floor, but JLT's not actively watching it. They've cleared out this site now, utility going through. Hot and Cold also getting into position. I think Gunnar's going to try to sneak into vent here and get away with something. He is backing off now.
If Gunnar jumps in, he will be revealed by the Alibi's Prisma, though. A very old strategy, not something we see often, but a nice cheeky way for Riot to get a little bit more information. Beast Coast can't be as sneaky as they would like. They're so tempted. Like, they've said this is a gap for sure. They're just not taking it.
You have to commit now. I mean, it's only 25 seconds left, and Soldier's all ready to capitalize off of it.
He's got the info. He's got the first pick as well. Hot and Cold is down. The Gunner has to force down this plant regardless. JLT is worried about the cover. Gavin's job to do it, and he does. The plant has been confirmed. However, a few bodies have fallen for Beast Coast. Thankfully, Diffuser has snuck down into Harry Potter beneath the stairs. Ryder is from above. He needs to find a pick. He does. Gets a good reply. Soldier has to rotate. Oh! Shot from Soldier! It's all up to Spirits now. From above, the Guru Mine in his foot. Maybe there's a chance at sticking this for PSG. Does he have information? Can he kill the player? He can! Spirits in a 1v1. Ryder has no chances. He has to land this kill or the defuse is done. Spirits has got it in the bag.
Fabian very disappointed with that, and honestly, justifiably so.
That was not good enough.
It was not good enough.
That's what he said.
But it was still good, but not good enough. I like that play from the Valkyrie there. Sure, Gunnar slips on in, but anticipating somebody's going to be covering main door, takes that fight instead to fully catch Hot and Cold off guard. And sure, you get Gunnar inside to get the diffuser, but really what we needed, a little bit more initiative from JLT on that fight. Obviously, the player on the balcony ready for it, but he was very nervous there, very scared, and you need decisiveness in that moment. The call's been given that they're going for the defuse. He's aware of the guy on the balcony. You need to try to start picking up the pace, because if you let Beast Coast get set, especially in that post-plant position, you're going to be taken down. Instead, he just slowly dry peeks the angle, and that's an easy gunfight for Gavin to win.
I wonder if a round like that is the determining factor in this game.
With how close it is, it could very well be.
Because that really could have been a PSG round. It was a bit of a roller coaster, let's be honest. Like, Beast Coast had it at 4v2 or 3v2 advantage, but down to a 2v1, I think it was just tiny mistakes. As Fabian said, not good enough from PSG Talon. So close, but not to get it across the line. How many times have we heard that story from teams from Korea or from Japan or from Oceania or Asia? Far too often.
Wasn't there a major that Korea was one round away, one
round away, one 1v1 away from taking down the eventual champions of that major? That was D+ or Dam1 Kia, as they were known at the time, versus FaZe Clan back at the end of 2021 in Gävle, Sweden. Korea has not really achieved anything on the global stage between then and now. FearX knocked out G2. Korea is on the up again. PSG have an opportunity to make their main stage debut. The first time we've seen Korea on the main stage since Down 1 was in Gävle, Sweden. But they can't let it slip away now.
No, they can't. Royboy letting go of one toxic canister outside on the armory balcony, anticipating somebody to run up, take that CCTV control. The Beast Coast haven't actually cleared it yet, though they might very well find armory to be free for the taking momentarily. The smoke gone, Misa put to low HP. Sure, he can stim himself back up. The Beast Coast surrounding the site very quickly. Candela's going out, and the diffuser going in.
Oh, but taken down. Gunner has been finished, almost. Hot and cold from below. Let's get some form of a reply. An awkward standstill now for Beast Coast, but this could be a very good keeper. Barrier, no, sight has been stolen by Diffuser. And Beast Coast inches away from map point here. Bit of a redemption. Could it be for the first time on border? Beast Coast take the lead. 2v5. Ooh, Soldier has been punished by Hot and Cold. Still lurking below. JLT versus the world. The first piece of the puzzle done. A sweet feeling for Beast Coast for the first time. They have the lead on their map.
And match point comes with it. Talon need one to push it to overtime. This is still the one they can lose, the one they can let slip away. It's their opponent's pick. They're expected to lose it. But how nice would it be to push Beast Coast to overtime to be another one of the, now at this point, many teams from Japan, from Korea, to upset a big team? How sweet would that feeling be? We'll have to hope they can push it to overtime to feel that way. Beast Coast with a solid, again, very minimal take there. Able to push the players back from CCTV, but more importantly, take down Royboy. And I think the big story for Talon that round, very liberal with the engagements and their lives in particular. Royboy challenging the balcony, players challenging CCTV. Beast Coast are ready for it. They were playing passive, hoping Talon would make that mistake.
Well, Beast Coast have done wonders to bring it back to this point.
10 seconds left before insertion.
PSG had so much pressure on their shoulders, just knowing how close they were, how close they have been. A round that really should have been theirs 2 rounds ago has let slip, and now they're the ones that have to push to overtime. You know, it's been a hell of a long time since we've had a game like this between Korea and North America. Of course, it could end up fizzling out, but the last time a Korean team took down a North American team was almost 2 years ago at the Berlin Major when Sandbox took down Sonics. And that was only in a best of 1, and it certainly wasn't for a main stage position. This would be a historic matchup for Korea if Talon can do it, but I have a feeling that their momentum is starting to wane.
Especially when the pressure is so high in moments like this. Talon just starting to reach the point I think Bleed have as well, that they're starting to have expectations for themselves, starting to feel that pressure instead of being the underdogs. Cavalier nature as they go into rounds. Who knows, but Beast Coast certainly starting to get a good idea of what they want to do. It is a Teller's Bathroom defense. They tried to go for that direct take last time, but this very setup stopped them in their tracks, but now they're ready for it as Talon are running it back. How are they going to counter this? We saw Soldier playing in this exact spot last time, and everyone on the east side from Beast Coast, they will have to deal with Soldier at some point. You cannot let Break Room remain in the hands of the defense.
Soldier's got a good spot. He almost gets
timing.
an angle. That player is bottom waiting, indeed. And Gunner is not seemingly aware of this angle. Again, the timing is missed. Gunner has snuck into the site and able to start forcing that plant down. Soldier's got an angle! What an angle from Soldier! As a result, PSG have stopped the plant, but it might just be slowing the bleeding rather than stopping it entirely, as Beast Coast still have the numbers in advantage.
But Royboy has the diffuser, and he can play close with his shotgun. Soldier can also cover his run in. Kavini needs to find a way to slip past this, and they're trying to take down the Valkyrie before they move forth.
Oh, Royboy, flash, but he does find a kill. Thanks to the Warden's glasses. A trade back again. Leaves Beast Coast in the advantage. Soldier from above. They should have an idea where he is, but do they know about Ryder, who snuck around the corner? The plant position has been relocated. Far safer now. Ryder reveals his position with a few shots. He doesn't have the information. Round in the corner, hot and cold, is all but hot today. And Beast Coast weather the storm. The first map is in the bag.
And that round becoming pivotal, that 1v2 from Spirits. Had Talon converted that, this would only be for overtime, and it'd Beast Coast under the pressure. But they win it, Spirits in the clutch, and then the next 2 in a row go the way of the #1 team from North America. And they take their pick, but not without a damn good fight from PSG Talon.
They will very much push their limits there. Beast Coast, a sorry surprise. It took a hell of a long time to get that momentum. But in the final 2 rounds, they strung them together and converted to their map pick as a win. Now Talon on the ropes. They had a lot of confidence at the start of that game, but it started to wane, and I think that failed clutch got into their heads a little bit. Fabian's got some work to do to whip the boys back into shape, but Beast Coast elated right now as we go back to the desk.
Thank you very much, gents. Yes, it's me and Fabian, as so far Alfama is prepping something. We'll talk to you about that later on, but I was kind of sitting upstairs with Demo. We were chatting about this game and seeing how it goes, and we're both saying, this is gonna go all the way, isn't it? And only by a hair did we not get to OT, Jack. Beast Coast, clean map 1.
Yeah, and like Carter said, that clutch was so important for Beast Coast to get over the line. If not, we'd be seeing overtime right now. And I think PSG Talon, they came out with a bang. They really started off that rush in round 1 that worked so well for them with the blitz. And they really held their own with their attacks. They knew how to have their pace being variable. A couple of rounds where they were very, very fast with the pacing. And then a couple of rounds where they slowed it back down and played a little bit more default. I think they will have been a little bit unfortunate, you know, a little bit annoyed with their defenses, and Beast Coast obviously had to kind of garner that comeback. Thought this round here was absolutely vital, of course. And yeah, for Beast Coast, it was their map pick, of course. They were expected to win it. I think they thought they were going to have an easier time than they ultimately did. But again, I keep saying it in best of threes. It's just about getting over the line.
And indeed they did. Only just, but over the line. 14-7 for hot and cold over on the Beast Coast side. But honestly, not too bad of a performance at all from PSG Talon on the opposite end. Reminder, PSG Talon is not a team we expected to make it so far into the tournament, and they are fighting to get that spot on the stage. However, Beast Coast are leading 1-0. Alfama awaits us off on Telestration. Mon ami, what do you have to tell us about?
Well, I want to tell you about how Beast Coast have been abusing Demos to get rid of this strong position. Now we're looking at an attack on the top floor, and they want to go from office side. The first step is to get rid of this Legion here, playing on the solo wall. He has a reinforcement, and he has the hatch to drop. He's just there to burn time. First thing they will do is they will open the wall with the Ash Charge, and then instantly take a look at the Ash Charge here. The Legion has to move and now has to drop and is removed really quickly. But what's even more efficient is they're ready to cut him off. This is how they anticipate the move with Demos. You see this active droning on the Legion. Hot and Cold will come with the Demos and actually get rid of him, making sure they get the opening engagement on top of clearing a strong position. Legion runs, gets picked, it's perfect. First element of defense is removed on office. Now the second one is Fountain. Fountain is the core of office. It's one of the hardest things to get rid of. So they're actually droning the Fountain player, it's Azami here, and they want to have a look at how do we problem solve this. Once again, one thing that was not anticipated is how much Demos became a vertical player here, thanks to his pistol. So they track the Azami, open the wall for him, and the floor for him, then they nade him, and on the nade, Gavini picks to get rid of this player. Perfect team play here, 2 problem solving, 2 because of Demos to get in a 4v2 position and be able to execute properly. Demos is so efficient now with the vertical play. Now if you want to look, map 2 is coming after a short break.
welcome back, everybody. We continue on with our final matchup of Phase 2. It is all for the marbles here to move on to the main stage on Friday, and you see a coach from Beast Coast. Honestly, very well dressed, but let's prepare for Skyscraper. This is Talon's pick, and in this case, Talon will be starting off on the attack. Jack, please fill us in.
Yeah, Skyscraper is a map that you pick only if you're confident. They've not played it at this event, but they have seen their opponent play it. However, that being said, they do have to start on the attack, which is not normally a good sign on Skyscraper.
Yeah, and also that means then on the opposite, it's very clear for the others, Beast Coast to start in defense, to have actually a good lead, build on a good lead in defense, and then straight after, one thing that was super good to see from them on border is their ability to remove these strong positions. And Sky is all about these strong positions. It's natural crossfires everywhere. So if they can do the same thing, apply the same strategy on border than on Sky, there is no reason for them not to take this.
Now let's keep it short. Our game's ready. Who takes this? Do we have a map 3 or not? Yes, no.
I think we're staying with the 2-0s, 2-0s, 2-0s today.
Jack?
I believe in PSG Talon. Yes, we'll have a map 3, Milos.
Thank you very much, Alphaman Fresh. Our game is ready, and so are our casters. Detmar and Lynx, take it away.
Thank you very much, Milosh. And what could be the final map of the day, we'll have to find out. Skyscraper, it is PSG's map pick, but Beast Coast had a great revival at the end of Border, and I feel like the momentum has been building.
I just couldn't help but notice the Jack flip-flop there. He said, gut feeling, it's got to be a PSG Talon 2-0.
Is that your British accent?
Yeah, and he said that's the only way. They've lost map 1. They have not met his necessary condition, and now he's like, PSG Talon at 3. I think he's just biased for his old EUL duo, I'm going to be honest.
Could be a possibility, but PSG, the buck stops with them right now. It is their map pick of Skyscraper. Beast Coast are looking red hot and ready to go after Border. Will it be a map 3 for the first time today, or will we have no APAC representatives on the main stage in Manchester? Beast Coast are certainly smelling blood in the water, and they're hunting for more.
It'd be a particular shame after how Manchester has transpired. Bliss and Bleed both 2-0. CAG potentially knocking BDS out yesterday. Now Talon finding themselves one final best of 3 to remain alive. They had the numbers. It'd be a shame for it to end here. On their map pick, what better time to fight back? Bans going and transpiring. Talon keeping with their Solus ban. Will Beast Coast ban the Fenrir? Well, I'm taking the odds right now. You've got 5-1, Dev.
It's Fenrir. It's going to be all the same bans as last map. There we go. So, what does that mean? Well, it means we're going to see Mira on the board.
Azami on the board.
Azami is going to be a mainstay. Valkyrie. We saw some really good Valkyrie usage last map. In general today, we've seen a lot of Valk. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. On the attacking side, Ying has managed to slip on through, but we didn't really see any of it on the first map. We saw a little bit of Blitz, we saw a little bit of Glaz, to mixed success. But yeah, starting on the attacking side are PSG Talon, and if anything, that makes this even more challenging.
It does, especially when Beast Coast obviously were very strong in the defensive side against FaZe, and the one time they played Skyscraper this tournament, it was against FaZe. They almost beat them 7-3, almost beat them 8-7 again, but ended up losing 7-8. But their defensive side was really quite impressive, I think, in the fact that they had a really good command of those power positions that Leo talked about. Dragon, Shrine, Terrace, Drum, that kind of middle portion of the map that separates the two primary bomb sites, T and Karaoke, or in this case, Exhibition and Office that we see Beast Coast going to. They played really quite well around this position and trading each other out as the attack would progressively gain control and basically forcing FaZe to progress at incredibly slow speeds. The Azami, by the way, you mentioned it, Deb, was a key part of that reason.
Oh, a lot of work to do for Talon starting on the attacking side. Skyscraper can be such a mess to attack. So many power positions, as you've said, so much ability to fall back to the next point of contention. It looks like the first point of contest for Talon is going to be a bit of a map clear as the bomb site's over in Exhibition Office, and they look to try and take from Geisha and from Tea Room and Karaoke. Not too much presence here as of yet. There was a little bit of a roam going on and a lot of prep with these feet holes open in these walls, but I think PSG Talon are able to get into the building without too much of a hiccup.
No, they should be able to enter the immediate area around T Karaoke, but moving forward, that's where it'll be difficult for them. That's where it was difficult for FaZe Clan against Beast Coast, was making this progress. The electricity right here is going to be very, very strong, not only on the Geisha single panel, also on that double. But Talon starting on this side early means they can actually go with this utility clear very early on, and hopefully very efficiently with those Rotero drones, with the Mavericks you can see right there opening up a line in that single wall. Gavini's got to fall back. There's an angle now watching most of inside of Drum, which means Spirits and Diffuser now the most aggressively positioned.
It's still a really solid position, though, from Spirits. He's got that shield to play off of a really narrow angle as well. PSG have made some good progress pushing these players back, but as is so customary for Skyscraper, you lose a little bit of ground and you just move to the next power position, right? You just peel back that next layer of the onion, and it's pretty confident for a defensive side. Like, you're not too stressed, especially when you find the opening pick off of an angle like that. Very nice shot from Gunner.
And pretty much going the exact same way in the exact same positions that Beast Coast Exhibition Office would often go against FaZe. Spirits holding the shield, Gunner trying to play aggressive off that mirror window and on that long angle into Drum and Terrace. Gavini also obviously playing mini bar, can wrap around and actually hold a crossfire with anybody playing mini bar on that exterior angle. But to PSG Talon's credit, they've actually pushed Spirits off. They forced him back to top house. But given the 5v4, this is where that strength in Beast Coast trading structure could still prove to be problematic. Very low time remaining. They've cleared out those extremities, but with such low time, needed something. Soldier might have just widened the gap.
Need a lot more than that, though. Rotation from Soldier as he looks to put some pressure on the main breach. Gavini is in an aggressive position near that, but I believe there's still a mirror window facing towards that office position. Royboy's also going to rotate the diffuser there as well. 20 seconds to play. A good flash, but Gavini's still alive. Oh, he loses his life to Royboy. Maybe a chance now, but time is ticking. Beast Coast dropping like flies. PSG need to convert this. A 4v1. Time is of the essence. All Spirits needs to do is deny this diffuser plan, but he is being hunted down. Royboy can force that diffuser down on the ground. And an nigh impossible retake is now on the agenda for the lone Canadian.
With a keep a barricade in his way too, not much you can really do at that point. You've given away the sound cue, your positioning by extension. Everyone from Talon has fallen back to their post-plant positions. Can't say for certain that the entire round hinged on that gunfight between Gavini and Royboy, but we can certainly say that the immediate control of the site hinged on that gunfight between the Bandit and the Thermite. He had it on head level, he had the pre-fire, but as the rappel swings all the way back, Gavini's spray goes, Royboy's able to dodge it, and pre-fire in turn as he swings in. Look at that.
Honestly, I kind of do think we can say that the round, in a way, hinged on that kill. And I guess the slew of frags that followed from Talon. Strategically, they lost that round. With 20 seconds to play, and they're rotating to a side of the map that they weren't ready for. Beast Coast did let that slip, and you know, you can't really have too much of a go at them. They just lost a lot of fights all at once, and the fact that PSG can achieve that tells you a lot about the fact that they still have a lot of guts. They can still pull it across the line at the end of the round. They have confidence to take those fights, and I've seen a lot of teams that when the goings get tough at the end of the round, they kind of give up. And really, just being able to crank and just send it at the end, it makes a huge difference.
We'll have a bit of a tech pause, you can see, or at least one of our observers was taken offline.
Quick little rehost.
Some big Beast Coast fans were unhappy with that previous round.
I wonder, this technical rehost, is this going to benefit Beast Coast because they can now chill out a little bit and
I don't think it's going to have a particularly strong impact, to be honest with you.
Or is it going to maybe have them stew a little bit? I think they're too impatient.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mr. ADHD Gunner himself might start getting a little antsy, but I don't think it should affect them too badly. I think if you're Beast Coast, I think you pretty effectively realize that you strategically outplayed Talon that round. Not, to be fair to Talon, not in any like crazy extent. That was just kind of a very well-played Skyscraper defense. They held on control of the two main cutoff positions, Dragon and Terrace, for a long period of time. They then used those positions to extract about 1:45 seconds out of Talon, that fell back with a man advantage. And then what do you lose? Oh, Gavini missed a pre-fire because of the rappel animation, and then players lost the fight on the site, lost 1v1s. I think you realize, even though losing a Skyscraper defense can be brutal, depending on what ends up happening this game. I think with only 1 round in, I think Beast Coast are probably reckoning, all right, that's unfortunate, but
Just
recoverable.
Yeah. I always find it funny how the players can't talk in these technical timeouts. Obviously, in a tactical, that's the whole point. You get a chance to talk, but everyone just having to sit here quietly. There's a real skill to that. Just being able to not get more hyped, not get less hyped, but just stay at that consistent level for quite some time. Everyone has their own techniques.
I was about to say, speaking of techniques, hot and cold, always double fist in the hand warmers. Something I've noticed of him on LAN. Every single time, it's like his idle animation during these tech breaks. He's always doing that. I don't know about that with anybody else. I just saw him doing that just now. I was like, I know that. That's the hot and special.
I've seen a lot of hand warmers at previous events. There's Misa's got one. But this event, I don't know, I feel like it's not particularly cold, not particularly hot in the studio at the moment.
Today's a little cold, but it's...
Outside, but it's pretty warm in here.
Really? I think it's a little chilly in here.
It was chilly when we had the fan on, but...
Yeah, but I think it's still a little chilly right now.
Maybe.
Gabe actually got himself some hand warmers earlier.
Really?
He's really
going back to the playing days.
Yeah, exactly. No, it has been pretty hot in here. You haven't really needed it. It's been a bit humid, I will say, when it has been hot, so...
Yeah.
Get
All
back
right,
into it.
back into it. Time to get the energy back, and Fett, of course, always happy to do that. Big fist pumps all around. He's like the annoying uncle.
I'm sorry. This is gonna be you can't make this joke. I, an NA person, can make this joke. I actually cannot believe that right now, the battle of the coaches is 3-time world champion Fabian versus Fettuccine. This is actually a very surreal position. No disrespect to Fett. Fett used to be a player. I casted Fett when he was in Challenger League a couple years ago, teamed with Gotcha. Fun fact, on Orgless at the time. I actually remember that game. They played Spirits. They lost.
Little history, NA history lesson.
Little NA history right there. So it's actually very surreal that I just realized that it's Fettuccine versus Fabian for a major playoff qualification. Would be Fett's first time anywhere even near a playoff stage.
Yeah. Of course, he's been handed quite a lineup of historic players.
Assembled himself?
Yeah. Hot and cold in particular, like we've said, I did the numbers. He's actually played at 13 international events in the past, at 6 majors, 4 6 invitationals, and 3 Pro League finals. And any player that's played in multiple Pro League finals, you know they're an OG, right? Because that was 2019 was the last time we had a Pro League.
Yeah, that was pre-regionalization.
Pre the good old regional system, pre-Blast, even pre-Face It, good old days. So. Yeah, very much a different situation we lived in back then. And Hot and Cold, he's seen it all. He's the only one that actually played on the international stage back in that era of Siege. And he's still quite a solid performer even these days. He had a great first map.
I mean, his career's been so long, you know, I started watching, he was already on Dark Zero. I mean, that's skipping over.
I started watching, he was already on, I believe at the time it was Flipside.
Yeah.
Which is one of the first teams that I ever supported.
I've been watching him for 5 years, and that's still a whole 2 to 3 years of history that I'm
Yeah.
That's how long Hot and Cold has been playing. Then, of course, we mentioned earlier, you know, Diffuser, this is his first stage of Pro League, first major as well. Could potentially make main stage. Beast Coast can just close out this second map. First attack went PSG Talon's way. Attacking Exhibition and Office. Beast Coast most certainly outstratted them, but Talon definitely outgunned them at a very key moment in the late round. Beast Coast now rotating over to the T Karaoke bomb site. We've got the Azami back in play. We've got the Valkyrie for the intel. And I think Talon, good read to go for these full clears every time. Give yourselves as much control to work with, especially with that Monty off the board. He's sort of the main operator that facilitates those direct takes.
PSG always seem to be quite slow and measured. It seems to be part of their play style. Very steady team. And the early round often can look a little lacking as a result of it. But on Border, we saw a lot of good opening picks, and it's worth the wait if that's the kind of benefit that you end up getting as a result. And also in that round just gone by, we've seen that even when they don't play very quickly, they can collapse at the end of the round. I like this. A good, very organized, clear of this utility. And with that, Geisha Wall's also open. Robo's going in deep for it. He finds his pick. Gunner, meanwhile, has found Misa, but I think that PSG Talon should be pretty happy with what happened just there. I mean, they essentially took took Drum and Geisha for almost nothing.
No, Royboy just runs in, and I think they needed to make that play. The Vulcan packs were going to waste 20 more seconds before they could clear those Kibas. Diffuser was going to fall back, but now they've got that pick, but Gunner still has that Azami. Beast Coast are still holding the extremities of the bomb site quite well. They've even got that utility and Gunner with a second pick. Royboy makes a nice heads-up play, but Beast Coast are holding on beautifully.
They are, but it might not go so easily as Soldier has taken control of Geisha. JLT's going to have an impact though, and Beast Coast are retaking Shrine Control. JLT's going to make a call. It looks like he will need to relocate around Geisha, and that does open the door into Karaoke, into the bomb site. There is one player at the top of the back stairs. That is Hot and Cold. The man, the myth, the legend, the most experienced player in the server right now, and he's not overstaying his welcome. A bit of a pre-fire and a good retake from Gunner, who's firing up today. Great retake from Beast Coast. The plant goes down, but it's an easy defuse. And a very solid round for them to reply after PSG's first.
We can certainly commend Royboy for that play to take control of Drum, but still sometimes how Skyscraper attacks go. They start with that full clear. You mentioned that Talon seemed to be a very slow team. Given that a big point Fabian made was teaching them the fundamentals of Rainbow Six, bringing them up to speed on the theoretics with the rest of the world. And usually, when you're teaching a new team, what are you going to do? Are you going to teach them how to play like Furia, who play a very distinctive and modern style? Or are you going to try to teach them something more plant-focused, more full clear type Siege? They've gone with the latter. It's old, it's tested. Many teams still play it in the case of Dark Zero, but that does mean they're going to be slower. They're going to go for those full clears, and on Skyscraper, if you can't get Drum quickly, it's going to be problematic. Royboy took down the Drum player, but still only had 50 seconds left.
Yeah. Every round here that we see from PSG, we see good elements, even when they lose those rounds. And that is what I'm seeing as a huge difference between this game and the two games we saw earlier today. The underdogs had very few good moments, even in the rounds that they won, or even in the rounds that they lost. Like, it was just open and shut case. Whereas on the first map, yes, Beast Coast won at 7-5, but that was an incredibly competitive game and could have easily gone to overtime, or could have easily been a 7-5 in favor of Talon had a clutch and the final round gone a different way. But Talon, they couldn't get that second round in after losing the numbers in the mid round, and Beast Coast just continuing to play their game.
And they'll do so on the repeat of Exhibition in Office. We've dropped the Bandit, but I think the bulk of this strategy is going to remain the same, with the Shield inside a Shrine, the Azami on the other side, likely playing behind that mirror window. You don't really need to change up a whole lot, but Beast Coast even have the same reinforcements on the T-Walls and the Geisha single, understandably so. But Beast Coast aren't trying to change things up too much. Skyscraper defense is kind of like Oregon defense. It works well. It's got its set strategies. You don't need to change it up too much. Maybe have a roamer moving around in the case of Diffuser on that Goyo. Usually when Solus is in play, I believe in the phase game is playing a lot of Solus there. And now he's backed up, joining Spirits ahead of the Shield.
They want to peel back after they feel a bit of pressure, but Diffuser's in a bit of an aggressive position. He might not have a chance to.
He can get cut off.
No, there you go. He's managed to sneak away. A bit late there from Talon. He's also got this really nasty angle thanks to the Kiba and the architecture of this staircase and this pillar. Again, Talon very, very slow and methodical here, but they are going to clear this position. The Terror hasn't come in as of yet. In fact, they have foregone this time going for that Flores. But they have forced the players back regardless, even though that shield has not yet been cleared.
I do think dropping the Flores is a bit of a risky decision. Obviously, they can take down those Vulcan packs. Then you have to deal with the Azamis. But to their credit at this point, they've progressed forward. They've now cracked the mirror windows. They're making their way much quicker towards site than they did last time. And I think we could probably see that exact same rotation from Royboy, but really form a more overall cohesive execute. Have a couple players push into maybe Terrace, pinch the minibar guy, Hot and Cold right now, then try to move into site through the breach and through Mini. Good reinforcement from Hot and Cold, and very dangerous opening pick.
Misa went straight in for it. Hot and Cold read it. He baited the reinforcement. He got off it. Managed to find the kill as a result. I don't know how he got that read, but it was perfect. There's information now for Talon. They need to finish off Hot and Cold. He's so low. But he does find a kill regardless. The C4 should confirm that, and indeed it does. PSG have not been able to crush this rat in this corner. He's gone for a third. Oh, another one for Hot and Cold. Surely not. This guy can't be touched. Quad kill! JLT finds nothing! The veteran is back in action! Today's been the day for Hot and Cold.
Today has been a good day to be a hot and cold fan. Really strong individual performance on Border. One particular round, their first on attack on that map, won single-handedly basically by Hot and Cold with a 3K, and they're expertly playing the mini bar position. Baits out the reinforcement, bait catching me off guard too with how late that bait came out. He basically completed the animation and reacted once he heard the Maverick actually sprint towards him, gets the kill. But then unfortunately, despite seeing that setup previously, Talon forget that Beast Coast are playing with that wall open. They forget that that wall, I guess, wasn't reinforced. They get too tunnel visioned, so Hot and Cold wraps around, takes him down. Really good stuff, and an early tactical timeout from Fabian, recognizing, as many teams do, that this attacking side is going to be important. Winning as many rounds as you can will be important, and the only one Talon have so far almost went exactly how the one we just watched went.
A much-needed tactical timeout for PSG. This was the replay from Hot and Cold. Dancing around that reinforcement. Almost a double just on that spray alone. The C4 not even necessarily necessary. The Kiva barrier actually assisted him a little bit there. The fact that he gets this one
is ridiculous.
Absolutely criminal that Roy Boy was robbed of that. Edicini's got some serious energy, man.
He's entertaining. I know Jack was like, who is yelling so much? Everyone thought it was Gunnar. Turns out it was Red. I like it. I like the coaches that get excited. I like the coaches that hype up their team. Plus, when he's dressed in an all-black shirt and a black blazer, like he's showing up for the club after the match.
It definitely looks like a bit of a mafia boss or something.
I don't know if I was going to go mafia boss, but I see the vibe. I see the vision you're talking about. Master bedroom office defense, by the way, Dev.
Cheeky.
Cheeky indeed. Saw this a couple times during the phase game. Starting to come into the rotation a bit more. I think more teams really trying to give it a more consistent look, especially over barbecue and kitchen. Beast Coast did it as well. During the phase game they played with Diffuser all the way across the map on the Frost this time instead of the Solus is again. Solus banned by Beast Coast. Oh wait, those are the wrong bands, I just realized. Well, they're the right bands, but flipped on the teams.
Yeah. I do wonder, is Talon gonna map control upstairs? It's a solo lurk from Soldier. He does have some support from outside on various repels, and he is being droned ahead. He is the tip of the spear and the shaft as well. He is everything, and he is being flanked. Diffuser able to get him quite handily. Two players on this roam looking to backstab. A good reply from Misa. He might not seemingly be aware that Gunnar was also on for a bit of a flank.
Gunnar instead is backed off.
Oh, yuck.
He's been so confident in taking those engagements, whether holding sight on that T-Karaoke defense or in these power positions. He'll take those 1v1s and you give it to them. Gunnar really having a bit of a quiet map, I think 4 and 9 or something like that. Definitely negative by the end of that border map. And thankfully, you know, Gavini, Spirits, Hot and Cold all on. Gunnar certainly showing up in the defense alongside Hot and Cold, maintaining that original performance. But Talon now in the man deficit. Not really having an answer, unfortunately, for that Beast Coast roam. Now they've all fallen back, and Hot and Cold just holding upstairs. He can use those Evil Eyes that are down on the side. I think Beast Coast, by and large, actually playing for the retake, letting Talon run into the bottom floor, and then maybe using vertical angles and the Evil Eyes actually on the site to deny the plant. I mean, literally everybody's upstairs, save for Gavini House, who's probably just playing a long angle with the Malusi.
Yeah, and like you said, those Evil Eyes are going to be quite instrumental. There is a Brava who's already hacked something, but I'm not sure if that was an Evil Eye or perhaps one of the Banshees. Aggressive push out from Spirits. Misa's the last one left. An attempt from Talon to take the top floor finds very little success. And Beast Coast have really built themselves back into a lot of confidence. What a spray through the wall from Spirits. And momentum has shifted, and there's no doubt where it lies.
Beast Coast are not letting Talon get set up, whether it is for a late round execute or it is just for the roam clear at the beginning. Beast Coast are always challenging these angles, and Talon are getting caught off guard by a tactical timeout, now nullified. No conversion by Talon afterwards. They try to go for that quicker roam clear, they try to speed up the pace, and Beast Coast punish them for it because there was a bit of a lapse in intel. Another example right there as we saw Gunnar getting aggressive, but Spirits challenging the ace on the balcony, making sure that Talon cannot get themselves set up for any kind of play they want to go for.
god. I can't tell how much of it is like, helping his team get energized and how much of it is an intimidation tactic.
I enjoy it, so I don't really care if it helps or not. It's fun for me.
It's just fun.
It is.
You gotta have fun playing. And I don't know what the Talon camp's like at the moment. They are gonna get a little bit cheeky with it though. We're seeing the blitz come out. It was Misa who took it on border to quite a lot of success, but Roy Boy here bringing it for the first time. Ever since we had that rehost, Talon have found nothing.
That's what I was actually going to say. Since the rehost, as we had a rehost immediately after round 1. Unfortunately, the round Talon won. Since then, through 3 rounds, they, as a team, only have 5 kills combined. They got close. In that round, that Hot and Cold went huge with that 4K. Hot and Cold goes down, they might have a winnable round, but they didn't. Hot and Cold's able to go huge, and since then, it has been a very poor individual showing for Talon on this attacking side. Taking a while to get set up, East Coast challenging them, and Talon caught off guard. Going to T karaoke, where Talon needed Roy Boy to actually get his only kill since the rehost to even acquire drum control. East Coast again running the similar setup back, and Misa taking a hell of a lot of damage early on, again, by somebody challenging him on that double window.
I'm not sure what the intention is here. I mean, Glaz, Blitz, everyone's seemingly looking to take control of the top of backstairs. But you've got Spirits here lying in wait. He could get the better of the Blitz here, but it comes down to whether he can land the shots. He's got the elevation, but he has been taken down. Well played there from PSG Talon. They've got a lot of map control, and they've got the kill, but this smoke has stalled them out.
And that's what I was going to say. I love this addition of having the Warden hold the stairs because the smoke can then play right here and choke off the push and delay the rush from any attacking team facing black stairs. I love that switch up. Normally the smoke plays here. Beast Coast do it differently, and you can see Talon might have the advantage. They've got to take a little bit to pause.
They actually have info on a player in Geisha entrance as well. Out goes the smoke. Hot and Cold finds Roy Boy. Misa, his position likely revealed, but he finds his kill regardless. Pulling out the goo mine does expose him, but Gavin hasn't gone for the swing yet. Going down below now for Beast Coast, but the plant denial is not to be. Gavin's going for a big flank, but as he shoots the Claymore, he is Claymored by the second anyway. Apparently, you can't be too prepared, says Talon. 2v3, nice little keeper barrier does open the door for Diffuser, but as he has spotted that, it's going to be very challenging to look for this counter defuse. Hot and Cold has to cover. Oh, good shot though from JLT. Nigh impossible post plan to retake. PSG Talon make good on that promise of the rush.
They did play like a team that round. The coordination between the Glaz up top and the Blitz. The smoke trying to choke it off and does choke it off, but only after Spirits unfortunately goes down. Also, small detail, but good positioning having the Blitz go up the stairs instead of down the stairs, obviously. Vice versa, Spirits could probably get an angle on the feet of the Blitz and with a shotgun take him down, but instead by going up, Spirits can't really get an angle on the head, especially with the imprecise weapon of the shotgun.
Hard enough to like aim down. You're pretty lucky though for the Blitz. Like the Blitz head was exposed there, so it's, I don't know. Could have gone either way. It was possible to kill the Blitz, but I think the fact that the Glaz was also peeking the smoke helped a lot.
Yeah, the coordination right there, and then also resetting from Talon, recognizing, oh, the wall's actually reinforced, gotta open this up really quickly, but let's also make sure we don't expose ourselves to Hot and Cold. Recover the diffuser. Good round from Talon, and not only is it a good round, they've got the 2 rounds they need. Well, could need, depending on how this game goes.
Yeah, you could argue that 2 rounds of attack is enough. I think PSG will be really gunning for this 3rd one though. And I don't know, there's a solid chance that Beast Coast could come back from a 4-2 split. Oh, come back from have a solid attacking side and make good on a 4-2 defense and finish it in regulation. But yeah, PSG got to do everything they can to try and nail down this last round. And for the first time, we're seeing this Ying brought out. I don't think we've seen a Ying all day, at least on our streams, Carter. It's so often banned. PSG have shown how good they are with the Blitz and the Glaz, but here's a different explosive operator for that execute that they brought to the table.
Candelas will be very strong to get Talon that final 3rd round on the half. A 3-3 would absolutely be a win. We could litigate a 2-4, Dev.
I still think that a 2-4 is not enough for Talon.
Well, can we at least agree a 3-3 might be enough?
3-3 would be fantastic.
Well, we've gone from not enough to fantastic. Yeah. There's really
narrow margins when it comes to APAC teams, mate.
Narrow margins when it comes to Skyscraper, to be honest with you, too. So I think you're skepticism is well justified there. Beast Coast retrying T Karaoke, as we can see. Talon going back for that full clear, which they struggled with last time. Those Candelas could expedite the matter. But Beast Coast running it back. We've got the Azami. Got Hot and Cold looking for that run out too.
Aggressive.
Exactly, that initiative they want to take to try and challenge anybody on this balcony is really quite admirable. And now that Talon are going for this full clear again, it's the exact thing that stumped them on this T Karaoke attack last time. But I like this from Misa. Going down below, there is nobody down here, I believe.
We're on the stairs.
He could take this and the fight with the Azami.
Yeah, they pinged out that Azami's position. Gavin's playing it very well. Oh, he's got this
He's blocked
fortress
off.
of
Misa
Kiva
can slip by.
barriers. Yeah, but
Located by attackers.
There's nobody on cams.
I don't think that matters too much unless if Hot and Cold is caught out of position. There's tons of barbed wire. Hot and Cold goes down back onto the stairs, exposes himself. He's full flashed.
No!
He wins the fight regardless. A big kill there for Hot and Cold. PSG need to take advantage of the space, but Hot and Cold has locked him back out again with the gas.
Oh, that could have been the round right there. Misa had the timing too, but Hot and Cold just starting to regain his vision, wins the fight. Misa's going to be kicking himself from that one. A player we don't normally see miss fights like that, but has today. Soldier on the reattempt, failing. Hot and Cold finally falls after too much damage done to Talon.
Far too much. But still winnable, especially with Roy Boy landing that shot gunner. Over-peaking, unnecessary. Close to sight now. Talon, but close to the round ending. 20 seconds remain. Diffuser is in the power position here in Geisha, and Gavin has not been cleared.
15 seconds.
If Talon wish to repel in, they'll be going straight into the waiting arms of Beast Coast.
Gotta go.
Time is ticking away. You can't wait forever. Beast Coast are just holding on, and Soldier's gone down. Gavin finally revealed his position, but Roy Boy forcing that diffuser down. The plant denied at the final second. It's enough for Beast Coast to close the half 4-2.
Needs to start now. Dev doesn't think 2-4 will be enough, but I do agree with the second thing he said, that it's a thin margin on Skyscraper that often separates who wins and who loses, who goes to OT and who doesn't, and 4-2 on defenses might just be enough.
This was such a determining moment in the round. If Hot and Cold had lost his life here, Talon likely would have won that. Eventually a good trade. I mean, Roy Boy gave it everything he could. So let's have a look at how this plant was denied in the end. Oh, he actually faked it. I guess he would have died regardless, but yeah, I mean, you never pull off the like never pull off the plant. You never know.
You know,
You never know.
You do never know. There's actually...
He would have died there. We know that, but also you never know.
Quick aside, there was a funny moment. The NAL, Los were planting on Bank, and somebody had like a new keyboard, and the sensitivity on their plant key had been like adjusted, and so he didn't fully pull off, but his finger like let up slightly, but enough for the
Plant to stop.
the plant to stop, and they lost the round because of it.
Yikes.
Some things that happen.
Yes.
Especially when we nerds tend to modify our gear very excessively.
Very true. Well, just having a look back in through history, now, like we've said, we've seen Beast Coast just play this map once this year, and that was against FaZe, and they were much better on their defense. They have 50-50 on their defense, 38% on their attack. So if there's anything going for Talon now, it's the fact that Beast Coast are not great on this side. And what's more, PSG are much better on their defense and their attack. 65% defense, 44% on their attack. So there is a chance here that we could see a solid comeback, but they need to start in good form.
They do, and Soldier in a position to really counter how Beast Coast like to full clear this T Karaoke site. They put in Gavini with the buck to open up that wall, then move into the office position. Also have somebody Samurai window as well. So Misa ready for that. Soldier ready for the double wall as well, and Gavini will rotate down below in response. Likely to try to find an angle from the floor beneath. Isn't pressuring anybody yet.
Oh, that's clever. I like this. Look at that. Teamwork. The Grim, the Buck, and the player outside. Everyone looking to cut off Soldier. Very well played from Beast Coast. A lot of time and utility expended, but they confirmed that kill in a very impressive manner.
And something I actually didn't even really think to bring up the first half was the lack of those execute operators really saw. We saw the Ying, I think, 2 times from Talon, especially in that last round, but no Grim. No Grim as far as I can recall, and we've got both from Beast Coast in the very first round, and you can see how useful it is for that roam clear. 2 players meant to hold out Exhibition and Office, couple Candelas, couple Bs, and they've got the 5v4. And that's the Azami taken down. Remember the work that Gunner was able to do with that operator, holding down Drum. Well, now on the defense, we've got no deployable shields, no remaining Kivas that can be put up. Anybody holding it, whether it's the Legion, for example, in Drum right now, or the Mute who could retake Shrine, they're just going to have to take raw gunfights, and there's so much more of that Candelas and Bs where it came from.
Time is ticking away, though. Only 45 seconds still to play. Beast Coast are still yet to really push towards this Karaoke T side of the map. Gunner rotates outside, not looking to push up from the back stairs. Still, Drum hasn't even been taken. Geisha is still reinforced, I believe. This has been very... Okay, breach on Geisha, but not a lot of time to make good on it.
No, they still have to push in. What they should try to do is maybe trade down the Rider's position and the Warden as well, smoke to allow
Nice
push
C4.
up.
Oh, big opener from Misa. Diffuser goes down. Good flash, though, and a good trade. Gavin goes straight on in with a skeleton key. Ryder just riding out his position on the stairs as JLT has shut out Spirits, and Royboy has smoked up the side. It's going to be challenging for Hot and Cold to get in. And he's not able to just force down that diffuser. It's him against the world. Spirit's got a team kill amidst the chaos.
Accidentally downed Gunner, it seems, and with the round ending, Gunner finished off by Spirit's post-mortem. Beast Coast had some good utility to make that execute work, but Hot and Cold very far on the back line. Had to take a whole, I think, 7 seconds really to rotate over to the push, then open up the breach, then get in, and then we had smoke detonating right on that very position.
Style 100, aim 30, SI wins 0.
To be fair, Fett was not exactly known for his aim inside of CO.
And nor for his SI wins.
No, nor for his SI wins. But you can't really blame the guy. Actually, I did technically forget this. This is technically not Fett's first S-tier event. He was Elevate's analyst like 2 years ago at an SI.
Damn. I'm surprised that Fabian's getting a 90 for style.
I'm surprised he's getting a 95 for aim.
Yeah, he himself said that his aim's not great, but you can't deny one thing, and that is the SI wins. 3 SI wins, the only 3 time to ever do it. Twice as a player, and now once as a coach.
15 seconds left.
Ooh. I'm starting to eat my own words here a little bit. I think that maybe it was enough just to get 2 rounds of defense for Talon, because...
Oh, hold on.
Well,
We're only 1 round in.
I had another look at the stats, though. Like I said before, and Beast Coast really not great on their attacking side of this map. And we saw the first phase of that attack for Beast Coast. Beautiful, Grim, Bark, Wombo combo, dealt with that player in Office really well. And then after that, they sat around and did nothing.
That's true. And I actually think I'm about to not disagree with you, but kind of disagree in a way while still holding true to everything
Go
you
for
said.
it. Give it a crack.
Exactly. Beast Coast are slow on their attacks, but they have such good individual star players that they can often bail themselves out. One good example, in that phase game, they were struggling to roam clear Exhibition Office. Minute 20 seconds left. Divini hops in, gets 2 kills, 5v3. Believe they end up converting the round as well.
Funnily enough, we've seen a little bit of that from PSG. I mean, the very first round of this map was largely on their attack.
Ooh, Misa.
Talk about Gunner. He's struggling. Early
the
death. Yeah. Misa's going to reinforce over that as well. Good setup from PSG. Good start for them. And Beast Coast with more questions than answers on this attack.
Certainly more questions than answers, especially I think reinforcing that off, as you can see, very smart move. 2 hard breachers for Beast Coast, but one of them is the Maverick. And I don't know if I'd want to go Mav open the double wall with the minibar run out literally to my left next to me. So I think that wall is going to remain reinforced for the entirety of this round, and PSG Talon still have this roam. That's just a Yana clone, don't worry.
Okay. I was stressed. I was worried.
And we're half the round in, so they can fall back. But Soldier, I will say, on a Kiva barricades, and to point something out, Beast Coast run this Kiva barricade on that Shrine window to stop anybody from jumping in, but Talon don't have that one. So retaking this position will be a lot harder because Beast Coast can push up from the left while also holding the angle on that window right there.
Perhaps PSG Talon are not interested in looking to retake Shrine. They can just fall back onto site. And there's still some very strong power positions to take for Beast Coast. Holding onto the side is very achievable. The Gumine in the foot of one of these attackers as Gavin is the first one forward, a player on the stairs. He's yet to meet the line of sight, looking deep into the objective. And PSG, with their numbers advantage, are just sitting and waiting for this push to come through. Ooh. dangerous there. Diffuser does get the narrow angle through the desk itself onto Ryder. Numbers are even, but 30 seconds to play. Things look grim.
And they're out of bees. Hot and Cold's got the flashes. That's the only thing to allow this execute to go down.
So Spirits goes in, but the bees have been good. Gotten information on one of those players deep in the side. Diffuser does get the down onto JLT, but a good trade as Misa holds on a big C4 from him. But it's not done deal yet because Soldier and Royboy have to deny this plant.
C4 from below.
Royboy has the nitro, but does he have the info? Yellow ping comes out! Far too late though! Just a millisecond.
He can play from below now.
Hot and Cold can now use that vertical game in the post plan. He has a stun to work with as well. Soldier, no Keebers to his name. But this is so clever. This is so cheeky. He can get onto the counter defuse. Hot and Cold must find an angle.
Buddy.
The time is ticking. But Hot and Cold is firing. Beast Coast narrowly steal that round. And Fabian is not happy.
Look at how close that plant denial came. A second of indecision from that Cade. And it allows Spirits to get the diffuser down. The moment that button on the phone is pressed with the nitro cell, it's almost instantaneous when Spirits comes off that diffuser and the kill is registered for PSG Talon. But if this will be a map of thin margins, that half a second delay from the Cade getting in position could very well decide it, as Beast Coast, similar to Talon, steal an attack away on Exhibition and Office.
And that's one that PSG Talon will certainly remember. It's, what, the second or third time we've seen a clutch play like that in this game. Otherwise would have set Talon up for success. A much-needed defense round slips away from them.
Look at the time here. Let's see how low it was. Wow. Literally instant.
Straight away, immediately after that plant went down, the nitro detonated. And a round like that just puts a fire underneath Beast Coast and sets them up to keep that momentum going. 2 more rounds is all they need.
And that's technically a Hot and Cold 1v2 that I just realized. Another feather in the cap of today's really strong individual performance from the IGL of Beast Coast. Scavini Gunner having all right performances on Skyscraper, but Hot and Cold most certainly showing up after the rehost. 3 KD for him at the moment, playing those hard support, hard breach operators. The Exhibition Office not retrying by Talon. They'll continue with the rotation, but not go to Master Bedroom and Office, instead moving downstairs to Barbecue. Not running the castle either, that we often see the extending operator on the site, just the mirror to hold down power positions. Instead, really reliant on that intel.
Well, Beast Coast, after that clutch, have the energy to get a really quick bit of map control on the top floor. And this kitchen bomb site can be a fickle being indeed on the defense. Quite a challenge, so much so that we even saw Beast Coast go Master Bedroom instead, as you pointed out.
Even for the attack, too, I think sometimes teams can get a little overconfident and they'll move into kitchen without really thinking about the vertical angles held from Geisha. It's a really important part of the map to clear. I will say, might be one behind that stack in Geisha, but Talon a little light on the vertical angles, especially looking over towards delivery. We can obviously see the ones on Barbecue, as you can see, but might be potential for a gap later on in the round. We'll just have to see, of course. There are still some, especially with that hatch opened up. Talon can contest if Beast Coast decide to push from below. They are moving Geisha. Moving to clear Geisha right now, more importantly. They've opened up the single wall, and nobody at the moment, aside from, I believe, Gunner, actually looking to pressure from the other side. Good find on that mirror window, though. Some of the power positions cleared, and I think, actually, Hot and Cold are playing down below with the diffuser. Might be on the lookout. Those Geisha vertical.
He's very tempted to just go for this. He was contesting that vertical game.
Yeah, look at how minimal these angles are. Just a couple spots. He can hop in here.
Goes straight in for it. He boosts himself up. Hot and Cold forcing the plant down as Spirits finds the opening kill. Coverage of delivery, well and truly in Beast Coast's hands. The plant will go down with no contest whatsoever. Talon have just let them slip on through. Gavin
like that.
furthers the advantage. And another one for him. Ash R4C in his hands. It's a dream for Beast Coast. Royboy in a 1v5, a flawless round.
Like
Beast Coast inches away from their debut on the main stage.
Oh, they didn't make enough vertical angles. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. I wanted to, and to be fair, Hot and Cold still plays very safe. Plants in an extremely tucked position on that counter. But not only was there no vertical angle, actually watching the window hop in straight on, because there's the default one behind that stack you can create, look down, get sight lines on the window. Nobody's even watching it from the hatch. From any of the angles that were existing, let Hot and Cold jump in for free, get the diffuser down, and Beast Coast with the minimum 2 rounds on attack they needed to at least secure overtime. One tap JLT.
Holy stars. Really good shots that round, and because they were so ready for it. They droned out the site, they looked at the setup, they identified everything they needed to do, and then they just went for it. Hot and Cold, he might be new to this calling role. He's doing a damn good job of it, and he's got a 3.0 KD to boot.
Yeah, the ironic thing about Hot and Cold in this roster is the calling's been quite good. The only thing that happens is sometimes he can get a bit silly on those shield operators, kind of be a bit too far by himself on the Monty and the Blitz, and, well, Monty's banned, and they've not even really picked the Blitz a single time. They're not even concerned about it. So Hot and Cold is fine, sitting on the back line, holding down the side, getting his frags that way. It is working out swimmingly with one diffuser plant and a flawless round later. Beast Coast 1 round away from not only Diffuser Fettuccine's first event, Gunnar Gavini's return to the spotlight, Spirits 2, but the first top 8 finish in Beast Coast history. This roster, the org, everything in between. Just one attack on Skyscraper, which many teams failed to get in all fairness. That last round might have been easy. I bet Fabian's wishing he had that tactical timeout now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he would certainly be wanting a tac timeout right now. But he took it early, and his team is now left to their own devices. Quite a contrast in how Talon have looked on the cameras in these last few rounds. It really seemed to start when Hot and Cold got that 4K from the very position Gavini is in right now. It put a fire underneath Beast Coast, and it really put Talon back into their shells. They haven't shown much since then. They've only found a single round of defense in the last 3. And they have no more second chances. Elimination from the major may well rest in the next minute 45 seconds.
It could, and I have to say, I think I heard Fabian say bad strat at the end of the previous round, and I want to raise a similar question here. We don't see an Azami on this lineup. Remember how strong Beast Coast were? They could hold Drum, they could hold Shrine, no matter what. All they have is one deployable shield from JLT, and it's placed top black. Beast Coast are going for a full clear. They don't really care about this position all that much. If they went for a direct, this would be great, but with no shield up front, once these Vulcan packs get detonated, which they are in short order, Spirits has 2 grenades to destroy them as well, Beast Coast can start pressuring this position, and Talon will have to physically challenge it with gunfights. If Beast Coast are able to get the opening picks here, this could be rough for the defense. This could be the match over.
He's so close to the site, and he's so tempted. He's filled with confidence right now. There's no information on his position. Seemingly ready. Ryder is just poised on the other side. Diffuser just wants to take a step forward. Ryder misses his shots, and now is exposed. Thanks to the Selma detonating, he finds a kill while blind, but traded on back, and the kills come to life for Beast Coast. Still a 3v3, a winnable position for the Koreans, but not with Roy Boy falling like that. Misa has been the saving grace for PSG. He's going to need to do a hell of a lot more than what he has done thus far. Hot and Cold to force the diffuser down on the ground. Confident as ever. Roy Boy picked up, but the plan is down. Misa's found one. Just maybe there's a possibility, but Gunnar puts them back down again. Misa and Roy Boy both inches away from death and far from home. Looks like Beast Coast may be about to send Talon back to Korea. 6-3 is the score. Who dares underestimate these hot shots? Gunnar in a 1 versus 1. And he is so far from the site. Roy Boy has to stick this. He might be able to make this work, but down below, Gunnar, all he has to do is deny the plant.
Can he shoot this?
Can he land the angle?
He fell
It doesn't matter! Roy Boy! What are you doing? Talon have fumbled at the final hurdle! 2 months since inception, Beast Coast will make their major stage debut here in Manchester.
He got scared! He fell off the diffuser! Gunnar didn't have time to get into position! It was gonna be a full gamble on that, and the angle through the floor with the scanner. It was not clean, it was diagonal. I think if Roy Boy sticks that, Gunnar only gets that kill with maybe 0.4 seconds left. That could have been Talon saving the game, and the nerves get the best of them.
There's no two ways to put it. A heart-wrenching loss for Talon to lose it by getting off the diffuser for no reason whatsoever. Beast Coast, a well-earned victory for them. They played it so well. And when push came to shove, Talon could not cope with the pressure, with the main stage looming. But there's no doubt that this Korean roster has stunned everybody. For the first time ever in Stage 1 of 2024, a team outside of FearX or D+ were champions in Korea. PSG went on to make it to the final day of Stage 2 on the verge of qualifying for their first ever main stage. And you can see that Beast Coast have immense respect for them for that as well. But this moment belongs to the players that were underestimated, the players that were forgotten, the players that were dropped from their previous teams only to form Beast Coast and to make it to the main stage in Manchester. Elation on these faces.
I'd be happy too. I mean, you kidding me? First top 8 finish in Beast Coast history? Would you not be happy? Gunnar dropped from the Sonics, Uvini dropped from Dark Zero.
Hot and cold. All of these players.
Fed along for the ride.
Very much so. Well, Hot and Cold was the man today, and thankfully we have him on the line for an interview.
Thank you very much, Dev. And indeed, I'm with Hot and Cold, the victor here today. First of all, congratulations, Matt. Incredible victory, incredible match for you. I just want to talk to you about your off-season. You know, you came, after leaving SSG, and now you've rebuilt an entire roster. If you just qualified to the main stage of the first major, it must feel incredible. How did you do it?
I mean, just hard work. I mean, we started off slow, obviously in NAL, but the guys, I mean, we all trust each other. I mean, I think that's the main thing. We have a good coach. He taught us well, taught us to just, focus on the fundamentals, and then, everything else will fall in line. And that's really what we've kind of pushed here. We've just, trust the process, take it one step at a time, and then, trust every call that's made, no matter who makes it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that surprised me the most, actually, is that you guys all have amazing talent, but you also all come from different top NA teams. And yet, whatever you do in attack, you can call fast rushes, you can be slow and methodical, you always have synergy. Are you able to have such a good synergy with such a young team?
Like I said, I think it just comes down to trusting each other. I don't think anyone doubts, anyone's capabilities. I think that's like the main thing with like the super teams. As soon as you get that small piece of doubt in any player, then it just kind of falls apart. And I think that's kind of, I had a little doubt myself on SSG. I kind of felt doubt from other players. I don't know if that's true or if that was just on my own brain tricking me. But I mean, I think that's the main thing. Just have trust with each other and just go all in.
Yeah, I think your performance today showed how confident you are. Actually, I want to show you a small clip. It's you and Mira on round 3. Can you run me through what was happening here?
I just felt like I was in the shits right here. I was just trying to keep alive. No one was really helping me. I mean, the cup spot is you're just trying to get it done. What do you mean? I heard him last second that he was here. Yeah, I got in a zombie, so Gunnar did help me with that. But I did my best to just stay alive as long as I can and waste their time.
Yeah, it wasn't the only thing, actually. You also pulled a crazy clutch, and yeah, you had an amazing game. But overall, thank you so much for this interview. Do you have any last words for your friends, your family, the fans?
Just want to say thank you very much to my family for always supporting me, my mom, my dad, my brothers. My brother, my first LAN, he fanned my PC so it wouldn't overheat. Just appreciate it, and hopefully I make you guys proud on the stage. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Matt. All right, now we have plenty of talk to do on the desk. Back to you, Milos.
Thank you very much, Alpha Mine. Thank you, Hot and Cold, for joining us on the interview. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. MB's Beast Coast qualify to the main stage on Friday. Incredible to see from the #1 team in North America, breaking records, and especially their own for their first time ever on a major stage.
This is a team that people didn't think would even make the major out of the North American League. It was like I don't want to call them cast-offs because the quality of the player, but it was players that other teams had discarded and deemed not fit for purpose. There's only one of those teams actually still in this event, by the way, or even, you know, reached that event. So they've put this team together. It's such an experienced team. They all know how to play fundamentally great Siege, and it's shown through their qualification and throughout this whole event so far.
I think it's the biggest lesson learned here is sometimes a player can get dropped, and it's not a question of his quality, it's not a question of how good he is, it's just maybe sometimes he doesn't fit the system, or maybe he has lost a little bit of trust. I think Otentool actually went through it multiple times. You know, when he left Dark Zero, then he had a crazy stage with Mirage, and then when he joined Space Station, he was amazing, and then his performance started dropping a little bit. Now he's on a new team, and he started performing again better. So I think in general, the quality of the players is without any doubt like one of the best team in NA. And what was crazy is they were able to do it with free agents. That's the biggest and funniest story. And they were also able to do and build this roster and qualify to main stage in what, 3 months of building a team, which I think is amazing again.
Yeah, sometimes you do need that mental reset, and I think that applies not just to Hot and Cold and others on the team, but even to, you know, us or other people outside. And then you get back right into it. And like you said, has been probably one of the most cost-effective teams that we have had throughout their run in the stage, and now to the main stage of the Manchester Major, Jack.
Yeah, they're just going to keep running on this fairy tale, right? You know, we'll come into the schedule. Of course, the schedule only is going to get harder from here, but they will just back themselves. And I think even if you look through this bracket, they lost a game to FaZe in a best of 1, and it was a 7-8, right? If they can do that with FaZe, who are considered one of the favorites for the event, they can go out and beat absolutely anybody. So I would firmly have them in my like dark horse category.
100%. I think it's very similar to Secret. Very similar. 2 different regions, but both teams actually rebuilt the roster, had a lead time after SI to have a consistent, good roster to take on T1 teams. And here, they're both surprising everyone by qualifying to main stage. Now the real test, real big test will be on the main stage in quarterfinals against some of the best teams in the world. You know, I don't know what to expect now. It's what's getting interesting on Friday, actually.
Now, to kind of wrap it up here for PSG Talon, before we kind of move on to our bracket and update you on everything that you need for Friday, PSG Talon's run was also incredible in its own right, even compared to Beast Coast. From where they were to where they are today, that's incredible, Alpha.
Yeah, I would say they surprised everyone, me included. Maybe not Fabian. I think he had a tremendous impact on this team, to be honest. Yes, of course, the team had talent, but to take them here, to be able to consistently take wins at the Major, I don't think he was expecting to take wins at the Major. He wasn't expecting to be one map away or one match away to qualify to main stage out of all the teams that were at this Major.
There's obviously been a tremendous amount of investment into this team in the off-season, but they can only be proud because I believe they've been ahead of the curve with their expectation of where they would be. I think if they sat down right at the very start when this investment was conceptualized and Fabian was speaking to the team, he would have said, right, you know, the first stage is the kind of free hit, and then we'll see where we go. We want to build, we want to make majors, you know, for the second stage in the season, and maybe then look to make SI off the back of that. They're already ahead of that curve, and because of that, yeah, sure, it's disappointing to lose. They could have been even more competitive today inside of this fixture, but they will be tremendously proud of that.
Gentlemen, it is time to reveal the bracket. Please, drum roll. Our bracket for the Manchester Major is, as it is, Team Secret face-off against BDS, Dark Zero versus M80, Furia v Team Liquid, and finally FaZe Clan versus Beast Coast, all the way to our grand final. Now our schedule for the day, I know, hold your horses, we got surprises aplenty. Our first game begins with BDS versus Secret. What's the follow-up? Well, it's Furia v Liquid. Want more? Good, because we got more coming. Beast Coast play FaZe, and to end the day at 8:30 p.m. British Summer Time is Dark Zero versus M80. There are a lot of surprises with this bracket, gents.
Yeah, there's a lot of surprises, and I will say, obviously, there's a lot of regional games inside of there. But with the way the bracket's fallen, we can't have an all-regional final unless it's NA, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, a little bit of short-term regional games, but the long-term, that's great. And I think there's some great games in there. The FaZe, the Furia Liquid one is probably my favorite, the favorite game of the day for me.
Each region of the big 3, Europe, NA, LATAM, electing the best team in their region to fight off and take the crown. I like it. Furia Liquid especially is going to be a banger. BDS Secret is also going to be a banger. I'm really excited for the quarterfinals.
This is guaranteeing representation in the semifinals. So in some ways, I'm sad to see Secret beat BDS. But hey, it just means we set up for incredible semifinals and a grand final that hopefully will unify all of our regions together. At least 2 of them. We're hoping one of them is Europe this time. Let's be very honest, but NA has a great shot through it too. At this point, everybody's been losing to Brazil, so revenge has to happen. Furia is looking for yet another crown. Though, gentlemen, thank you so very much for today. It has been an absolute pleasure to go on with you, with Jesse and Laxing, our production team, our staff, casters, all that it has been for what the past 10 days that we've been here in the UK, carrying through all of our matches. It's been incredible, but it's gonna get a million times better. You have no idea what awaits you on Friday, but before we close this entire show, we'll say goodbye, but so will the teams that we bid farewell to today. It's for all of you. We'll see you on Friday. Good night.
Hey guys, Odo from Bliss. Just want to say thank you to all the fans for supporting us. You know, we started the tournament really well, going 2-0 up. We really tried to push there to make main stage, but unfortunately, you know, BDS too strong, Dark Zero too strong, Team Secret too strong. But I feel like, you know, we really played well for our region. We had a bit of burnout, and our map pool wasn't really the best at this event, but we really tried to push through and make main stage. So thank you for all the support, really. And yeah, I guess we'll be back and stronger.
Thanks, guys, for supporting us. But fortunately, we trolled 2-0 again. We tried. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we tried. We tried our best. We made it farther than we should have, honestly. Furex should be right here instead of us. So I'm proud of my guys. I think we put a lot of effort into the last 3 games, but you know, today Liquid was just better. So GG's, props to them. And yeah, thanks for the support, guys.
Hey guys, just a final word from us at PSG Talon. We're really thankful for your support this event. We've seen a lot more than we actually expected. I mean, Korean teams usually don't play this well, so I think we've achieved something special this time. Can't wait to show you guys for the next stage what we've got in our books, and also, well, we'll see you next major. See you then.